This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic. And we are coming back at you for the Rick and Johnny podcast right here on Most Valuable Podcasts. I will get into why we have had the 2-week the 2-week awayness? No, that's not a word. What am I looking for, Johnny?
Hiatus?
Hiatus, that's the word I'm looking for. The 2-week
cool, I know
hiatus that we had here for the Rick and Johnny podcast.
I don't like that pause in between.
Before I do that, let me go ahead, get through the housekeeping. Number one, make sure to support us so we can keep doing what we love doing for you guys, and that is this. We love podcasting, love doing videos for you guys. Make sure to help us out on Patreon. Down below in the description, you can also get our t-shirt, our MVP t-shirt, down below in the description as well. You can also get that at mostvaluablepodcast.com where you can catch MVP each and every day. And then last but not least, you can make sure and go on to iTunes, go on to Apple Podcasts, and give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating if you think we're worth it. Man, those tots that you gave me earlier today from White Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gas is getting to me. That's why I'm getting a little burpy right now.
You're like 5.
I know, I am 5. I am a man-child, Johnny.
I'm saying you had 5.
Oh, yes.
You had like 5 of them.
5. I had like 5, but yes, a little gassy. That's why I'm getting a little burpy right now. Got to be burped like a good baby always does.
I don't know,
but
I'm fine.
Go over to iTunes and make sure to rate us and give us a review. Let us know why you like listening to the podcast each and every week. But Johnny, we got to talk about our hiatus. And our hiatus was for a distinct reason. And that is, we got hit with a bombshell 2 weeks ago. I want to say it was 2 weeks ago.
No,
I'm going to look up the exact date because we haven't podcasted since it happened. So on November 12th, about 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, the first podcast, I'll be honest, happened beforehand. So I was sick. And I didn't have a voice. Or no, that was you were sick or something. The 11th, 2 weeks ago.
I don't think I was sick. I don't remember what.
One of us, I wasn't feeling good. That
you
was
were.
it.
That was
so
you.
the 11th, I wasn't feeling good. Last week, we had 1 week last week where we were we needed to recoup a little bit after the tragic passing of Stan Lee from Marvel Comics. It kind of hit us a little tough, and that's why.
Man, legend, hero.
I mean, it also helped that I did not have a voice.
Yeah.
And was not on the fast break that weekend also because I did not have a voice.
Yeah, kind of put a damper on it.
It also hit us kind of hard. So what we're going to do is what we're talking about today. Number one, we're going to basically remember Stan Lee, kind of give our homage to Stan Lee and kind of talk about what these characters have meant to us throughout our lives. Like, between you and me, throughout our lives, kind of get that conversation going. You guys can tell us what you think in the comments. Then we're going to move on, talk about the Lion King remake trailer that we got released to us on Thanksgiving. And then we're going to end the show talking about will we ever see Deadpool in an Avengers movie. But let's start off with the Stan Lee. So, November 12th, I'm at work. I see it come across. And the weirdest thing, you know what's the weirdest thing about it? About an hour and a half before I saw it on my computer, one of my fellow coworkers came in, and I was talking to him about the C2E2 that you and I went to, where we stood in line waiting for Stan Lee's autograph. He came, did some autographs, he left, then came back, and how much you wanted that autograph because you didn't know how many chances you were going to get.
That was supposed to be his last time touring around doing autographs anyway. So it's like, no, I need to get this.
And it was just weird for me that I tell that story hour later. I go, it wasn't posted an hour later, but I looked at my computer. I was like, holy crap, what the hell? This can't be real. And then it was real.
Yeah.
Before we get into what all these characters mean, what are you kind of going through with the loss of Stan Lee?
Well, I found out probably one of the worst ways possible. I had someone that I don't talk to very often just message me and go, or just messaged me a screenshot of that. I'm like, okay,
they were thinking about you.
No, I'm like, he puts on things that like aren't true because I've checked it before. It's like, yeah, no, this person's not dead. I'm like, this can't be real. No, and I had to look, and I'm like, oh,
you're like, it's real.
Oh,
and then you sent it to me, and I was like, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I thought from someone who we actually talk all the time. It would be like, hey, I think you need to know about this.
Yeah, and here's the thing I want to add.
It ain't hard, honestly.
This is the greater thing of it, and this is like everything that I've seen so far is everyone like what these characters that obviously Stan Lee has created. First thing I just want to say, and this is just something that sticks with me. The one thing I've seen on Twitter that I really don't like is the people that go ahead and post, like, I saw a couple posts that are like, I don't know why everyone's so sad. Like, Stan Lee hasn't even written for Marvel Comics in such and such long. It's like, yeah, but without Stan Lee, there is no Marvel Comics.
Exactly.
It's not
started
what it is
Marvel
today.
Comics.
We're not having these epic movies without what he started.
Exactly.
Years and years ago. So I just want to this is going to be kind of like a free-flowing kind of a segment, just a conversation, and obviously I can't throw it to myself, so I'll throw it to you. What if you had to think about it? And I know it's a real deep question. It's not real like a for sure like here's a distinct answer. What would you say these Marvel characters? What is Marvel? What has it meant to you through your life?
A lot, honestly. Well, I don't. Did we do it for a favorite heroes as a topic for?
We did top fives. You did your top five, and I did my top five.
Did we? Was that for our actual podcast, or was that for?
It was us.
Patreon.
It was us.
Okay,
yeah, it was
I wasn't
an actual
sure.
Podcast.
And as you know, like Wolverine means a lot to me, but all these heroes mean a lot to me.
Well, you're a Marvel guy.
I'm a Marvel guy, and these heroes mean a lot more to me than. I don't know how to describe. It's hard to describe. They all have like their own things that played into my life. When that first Iron Man movie came out, was like a game changer. I was in music education, and at the time, even then, 2008, which graduation year, that started getting me thinking. Maybe I want to play more into.
We weren't even friends at that time.
We weren't, and that movie is the one that's like made me start thinking. Maybe I want to play more into other things I like to actually do, and be like
not just music.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I like building shit. I like doing this, and that's the one thing that made me start thinking about that. Like that's all I do is this other thing, and so I start going down that like slowly going down that path. But it's like that's not the only thing. These movies to me are inspiring. They make you like. They make me want to be. I don't know. I'm having trouble. Go ahead.
With me, first off,
go ahead.
I did find it about. It was May. It uploaded May 3rd. Of 2017, and I believe it posted like the next day. So like May 4th, 2017. We did do a Rick and Johnny segment of top 5 Marvel superheroes. So I'll put that above Johnny in case you guys want to go check that out. That was a long time ago. Like,
it was.
It feels like longer, but it's only been a year and a half since that. But like for me, I'll be honest. First off, I was more of a DC guy.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, because that's what I go back to. As a kid, most of my experiences with heroes were cartoons. I wasn't a kid that had all the comics. Like my parents didn't buy me all the comics. I didn't get I wasn't the kid that got the weekly issue every week.
Exactly, I'm same boat. So.
It would be cartoons, and I mean, for me, how it went down is there were 3 superhero cartoons for Marvel and DC that kind of were my jam. The number one was Batman. If Batman the animated series was on, The Adventures of Batman, I was all in. Loved it. Loved the style. Batman was and is my foregone favorite. Then there was the Spider-Man animated series, which I loved also, and why Spider-Man is probably, he and Batman kind of do this every once in a while, but Batman is the true number one, if that makes any sense.
Because you're a DC guy.
And then there's X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, those were the 3. Like, I even remember, like, when the Fantastic Four movie came out, my dad was like, "Oh, well, you should check out these comics of the Fantastic Four because like that's what was really big when I was a kid." And it's like I'd look at it and I was like 15, 14 years old. I was like, all right, the movie looks a lot cooler than this. Like, and that was just me at the time being a dumb kid and like the old medium not relating to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really clicking in.
Whereas now I can read something older and go, oh, this is just how it was at the time. It's not going to look as crisp art-wise as it does now. But for me, those were the two main were Batman and Spider-Man. But obviously Batman wasn't Marvel. So like for me, Spider-Man was my jam. Like he was the one that I always latched onto. And I was watching a video this week on YouTube because, of course, everyone is posting videos of Stan Lee left and right. And there was, I can't remember what late show he was doing it for. I think it was like one of the off ones that I didn't even know the guy behind the desk. And the thing that he said that I didn't think about until that point was he said that every character, especially Spider-Man, they tried to make them real. Like the decisions that they are going to make, the ways they are going to act, a real person would act that way.
Exactly.
And like you could relate to the character 100%. Like let's be honest. Like Batman, I can relate to some things like, hey, I get angry sometimes and this and that, but I will never be as wealthy as Batman. I'm never going to go through that same trauma as Batman to where it's kind of like you can relate, but you can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where Spider-Man, any kid growing up in high school could say, I could be Spider-Man. If a spider bit me, I could be Spider-Man.
Exactly. They try to make it as they I watched a bunch of videos afterwards and like some final words from Stan Lee, blah blah blah, all those things. And one of them stated, and I'm sort of paraphrasing it, is that I try to remember what I was going to say now. That they were writing for them, not like necessarily for everyone else, because they would write what they wanted to see. And it just happens that everyone else that wanted to read Marvel comics also liked it.
Like he would say
because they're not purposely trying to cater to everyone else. Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm going to write something I would like to read, and hopefully everyone else will like to read it too then. Well, and it makes it more personable.
And that kind of relates to, I'm going to bring this into a broader scope. Yeah. It's kind of like YouTube. Because how many creators do you know where the story is, hey, I just created videos that I thought, like, that I would like, pardon me, that I would like to watch.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
There's other people out there
that want to see it.
The same interests as you. Like, we're not, like, cased in our own bubble. And it's like, I'm the only one that likes this, and I'm the only one. Like, there are people out there, numerous people, that have the same interest in you.
Exactly.
Or interests as you, I would say.
Not in you necessarily.
That's what I meant to say, as you. But like, for me, another thing too with it is maybe it's where I'm at right now. I haven't really said this on a podcast. I maybe have said it in passing left and right, but one of the things that one of my goals in life is to write a graphic novel. Yes. I want to write a graphic novel. And this whole thing started with you, I, and this friend group that we used to hang out with. You still do. I don't as much because I've kind of enforced myself and entangled myself with everything MVP, so I just don't have time for a ton of social things, except like with the MVP guys. But, where was I? We created a superhero group, like a satire group.
It's a superhero.
Say it.
Revengeancers.
The Revengeancers. And it was, so you had yours.
Which, to be fair, we thought about this before Thor Ragnarok came out, way before that.
This was when we went to Comic-Con the first time, which was right after the first Avengers movie. Yeah. That's when we put this together.
Yeah, I think it was maybe about a few months after we started making jokes about it, because it all started with jokes about me working at Kohl's.
Yeah. because you were at Kohl's and your character was the
retailer.
Explain the retailer, because I'm not going to explain it. You
basically,
can
it's
explain
sort of Iron Man-esque, but I think the big joke about it was like the repulsor type thing makes the register sound.
And like there was our friend Mike. What was his called? The Green Swoosh.
Green Swoosh. That was one that him and I started as a joke in high school.
Well, he always had the Green Swoosh.
That was a since high school thing.
And his was obviously this is satire. And
it's all
his
satire.
was Superman based.
Superman with a
he gets the power from cheeses.
Yes.
He gets his power not from
yellow
the sun,
cheeses,
but from yellow cheeses. And mine was the most serious of them. It was
the Crusader.
The Crusader. It was like a Batman Spider-Man hybrid.
Yeah.
Like a Batman Spider-Man hybrid villain or hybrid hero.
Yeah.
I said villain because I'm thinking in my head. So how this timeline worked, we came up with that character. I went all in. I like went on a superhero like creator.
Yeah.
Made an outfit for him. Made a secondary character that would have been like his love interest. And then like after a while, like after a couple years, I remember going to Mark and going, "Hey, we're doing a graphic conversation a little bit consistently now. Do you want to write a graphic novel?" He's like, "Dude, that would be awesome." And I remember one night we sat there. We didn't even write a page. Like we got maybe a page of actual like comic slides, but it was nothing like in depth, and it kind of just fizzled out. But recently, I've been really like, because I've been throwing the ideas at you and stuff
over time. Yeah, past like year or so, we've been bouncing back and forth.
And with this, I'm not gonna say like, oh, this is happening, and it pushed me through it, but like just listening to some of the interviews from Stan Lee, it's like I'm taking things, and it's like, yeah, I want to make my character relatable, like Spider, because my hero that I'm creating is a Batman. It's a Batman Spider-Man hybrid. It's taking two of my favorite heroes, taking their qualities and kind of mashing them together in a way.
Exactly.
And the one thing, I don't know if I should say this because I don't want anyone to steal my ideas, but I'm going to say it anyways. The kind of twist that I had with it is that because it started out where kind of a Gwen Stacy kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Where he stops the mob, like a mob shooting, but in that kills the police chief. The police chief's daughter is his best friend, his love interest at school, whatever her name is, Girl X. And then she becomes basically, it was this whole thing of like, she becomes then a villain in a way where it's like she wants to kill him. She wants to kill the Crusader, but doesn't know he's the Crusader.
Yeah.
So like it adds like the origin, it adds in that audience. No, the audience knows the answer, but it's like, ooh, I can't wait until this plays out, and eventually they're going to find out. They're going to find out that they're one another, because then you got another origin that obviously you don't tell in that one. Maybe you do in like a one issue, but then you got to tell her origin and then everything that I was going to do with her as well. So that's kind of what this has also been doing. It's kind of those seeds are growing a little bit, because that is, besides this, that's one of my biggest dreams is not growing seeds, writing a graphic novel, because Mark released that new song with his wife. And I saw that, and I was like, I got to do it. I got to do it. Like, this is something that outside of what we do here, this would be something that's really cool. And I know I took a lot of time with that. But
no, I understand, because it's sort of something along the lines that's kind of inspiring you. And there's quite a few quotes out there that I've heard more recently, but I have heard them before from him too. And it's just starting to inspire, like, I'm pushing back towards my other goals again. I got a new job. It gives me benefits. It's going well so far, but I'm pushing back towards my other goals of starting my own business eventually down the road. I want to do
cosplay business.
The Nerdatorium thing that I told you about before. I don't want to get all in depth about it right now. But
I know you've mentioned it. I've probably pushed it to the back somewhere.
Probably somewhere, yeah. But I mean, I just want to start doing.
My little guys are going through filing cabinets right now.
Where was it?
Not even computers, just filing cabinets.
But it's also like I like a lot of his quotes that have come out, like not even sprung up. They've been out before of how to treat one another. Like the X-Men, that's what it was to show that.
Equality.
Just because someone's different doesn't make them bad. This is gonna be a very paraphrase. That guy right there, he's your brother. The girl over there, she's your sister, and the kid over there, well, he may have the proportionate strength of a spider. Yeah. But still, treat everyone with respect. And this is a man that, like, these comics mean, like, these characters, these comics mean a lot to me and you as well, even though you're not like a Marvel fanboy. You're not a Marvel fanboy. They still mean something to you.
They do. And especially like the way I would describe it is for you, all the characters mean something. Yeah. For me, it's maybe the X-Men I'm just going to put into one entity.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Maybe like 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4, like not a ton. Like, whereas if we went over to the DC side,
it's most of DC for you.
I have my love-hate with Superman.
Yeah.
One podcast I would love to get our friend Pete on the podcast. Okay, yeah. He's the mastermind where we use his studio. Like this is his studio that he lets us use, and he is a Superman fanboy. And I've always wanted to have a conversation with him on the podcast because I've had a conversation with him in real life. Because Superman to me never appealed to me. Yeah. Because I couldn't relate. I'm not going to have superpowers. But on the side he relates to is what Superman stands for. Being good to one another. Like doing the right thing. Like with me, I could never see myself like as Superman. Because I will never be an alien with superpowers. Like the Flash. Yeah. I'm not going to get like... The Flash could be the closest thing to Spider-Man. Yeah. Because you're not going to get bit by a spider, but, like, I could see myself being the Flash. Well, not me personally, but, like, Dave, that's his favorite hero. I could see Dave being the Flash. Yeah. Whereas Batman, it's honestly, like, I'm not going to be a millionaire, but if I was, would I be a vigilante?
See, like, as a kid, that's why Wolverine was and still is my number one. He, like...
The ultimate loner.
Well, not just that. Is inspiring, like, to a sense, because I was sick a lot as a kid, and I know I said the same thing on the other podcast. I was sick a lot as a kid. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. It was back and forth with different things all the time. And it's like, you know what? Even though I'm sick all the time, he's the one, like, going off of, like, how his attitude was, and not the loner, pissed off type thing. The survivor, the push through it all. And yeah, no, there's things, people have had a lot worse than me, but he's the one that helped me get through 6th grade, through all of high school.
No matter what happens, he can repair himself.
Yeah, and my thing is, I always fought through it. Constantly. I'll just say one thing is, I'm not even going to say what it's called. This is a fucking mouthful. I've told you this thing before. Basically, I got dizzy spells all the fucking time from like
this was in like high school,
5th grade through high school, through early college. This is almost like a 10-year span of getting these. Yeah, and I still get them off and on. But I learned at first I was on medications for it, and then it's like I pushed myself. I got myself off the medications. I pushed through them, and I get them. But guess what? I pushed through them. I pushed through them, and I survived. I've had it where the room started spinning.
Kind of like,
and you figure
that's not like vertigo, is it?
No, if the name of it's transient neurocardiogenic instability.
You got that like down to like
I do.
There was no flub whatsoever.
I had to, and then people will be like, "What the fuck is that?"
What did you just? What did you just call?
No, I had people go, "What did you just say?" I'm like, "Oh, let me slow it down," because I got to the point where I could say it. It was just so fast. Yeah, exactly. All in all, I get dizzy spells, potential of passing out, which again, I fought to never pass out. Even though I like black spots and everything in my vision. I took that like the little bit of mentality, and to me, all these characters, even the DC ones, you don't take like verbatim the character, you take elements of their personality. Like and I know this is the movies now. I've been taking kind of notes on Thor's attitude on everything. Mm-hmm. Try to find a semi-sunny disposition.
You mean Point Break?
Yeah, Point Break. Thank you. Damn you, Stark. But just try honestly, after that first, we've both changed since that first Comic-Con. I feel like I've become a lot more confident ever since my first Thor cosplay. Mm-hmm. And just that's sort of helped me become more confident to think, be like pull personality traits out of these heroes and try to be like them to that degree. Don't change who you are, but like you can take the inspirations out of how they act to say, you know what, I want to be more like this. Because when we first met, how fucking shy was I?
Very shy.
How little did I talk?
Another thing too is this isn't all of it, but it's a part of it. Yeah. This has helped with that.
Exactly.
Doing this actually talking into a microphone, because I've been doing this, like talking into a microphone since freshman year of college. Yeah. Where I was college radio and it's just natural to me. But like, go back and watch that first podcast. Like, Johnny is kind of shy, doesn't know what to, like, when do I jump in? What do I say?
Exactly. This has helped too. But yeah, I mean...
And now it's kind of bled over, and this is just what I've seen from the outside, it's kind of bled over into the Johnny that I met, first off, when conflict arose, step back. I don't want conflict. I'm not going to stand up. Exactly. I'll just let it fizzle out. Where now, if it needs to, you'll actually stand up for yourself. Yeah, that's true. Which is nice to see as well.
Yeah, no, you're right. I would just back down and just... wait for it to pass over. No, you're right. I do actually. If I feel like it's like worthwhile,
and I don't mean to have this segment just turn into a psychoanalysis of Johnny.
That's I think the different time. Yeah, but this is but I mean it just comes down to what these characters mean to you, what this whole type of genre even means to you.
Yeah, and I think
this sorry, I'll
go ahead. Keep going.
This guy is the one that started all of the Marvel stuff, so yeah, he's a significant part of it. He's the one that, if you're a Marvel fanboy, he's the one that like started it all. Even if you're a DC fanboy and you love these specific Marvel characters, he's the one. Spider-Man was his baby. Exactly. Yeah. Like
him and Jack Kirby.
But he's the one that like the editors are like, no one's like. I was actually watching videos again.
Nobody's like this. He goes, no, there are people are like this.
People. Well, no. What happens? Like, no one likes spiders. You can't make a Spider-Man, and no one wants a hero with actual like problems. Look at these other heroes. It's like, but look, Spider-Man came out in the last version of shit. I forgot what it was called. Some mysterious.
You're talking about his first appearance?
His first appearance. I forgot what the comic book line was called.
I'll look it up. You keep going with your thought.
Yeah, but then there's all of a sudden, boom. People loved it, and it flourished. That's where Spider-Man came from.
Amazing Fantasy 15.
Yes, Amazing Fantasy. I couldn't... Because there's also, like, Mysterious something that Thor was in a few of those, and I can't remember.
No, but, like, that's why me... And that's where we've broken off a little bit. Where back when Spider-Man was created, it was a much different time. Like, it was a time where, even think of parenting back then. Like, we have talked about, and didn't expect this to kind of wrap up into this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Didn't talk about mental health back then. No. Like, back when our parents were kids, and even a little bit when we were kids, it was... toughen up, get through it. There were some points where, depending on what it was, like if it was something really like hurtful, I would have my parent or my grandparent be like, okay, it's okay to cry. But there would be some things where it's like, I would just start to cry, and my dad or son would be like, stop it, like don't, like, and that's why for me,
depending on what it was, no, you're right, I had the same,
and that's why, and this is. I don't mean psychoanalysis with Ricky, but that's why through my childhood, the one biggest battle that I had was there had been times I wanted to cry, and I was in my bed just crying. and thinking to myself, are you ever not going to become a man because you cry? Because what it used to be is men don't cry, men don't show emotions, men are strong, men are this.
Or even like you.
And that's what these characters, to me, I would look at these characters, and Spider-Man was huge because I grew up, like, the animated series Spider-Man was a little bit older than us.
He was college.
He was college, but like,
but still related.
As I grew up into high school, Spider-Man, I could see those problems
exactly
as my own. And it was also like, with me and Batman, it's like the biggest thing with this is kind of like your Wolverine moment, but me with Batman, is it was kind of like, it snapped into my head. It is okay to feel these emotions because my favorite hero is one of these, I'm not going to say strongest, but like willed. He is the image of what the man was, where be tough, hide your emotions, suppress everything. And even he has emotions.
Yeah.
Even he
Same
has
with
emotions.
Wolverine.
And it's like, it is okay. And that's why, for me, with DC, that's why I kind of latched on to Batman. Plus, I mean, as a kid, I thought it was a total badass.
Yeah. But that's the same. I can say the same thing with Wolverine. He was able to, he was like tough and blah, blah, blah. But he's also, they showed him having that soft side finally. The ability to show emotions and
especially the emotions that he had when you even get into the love triangle between him, Jean, and Scott.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't not able to show emotions where like you said, like you were told not to cry for this. How many times do you remember seeing your dad cry? I think 3 throughout my life.
0.
3
I don't
because
think I've ever. Like I can't remember a time.
Death in family, something else.
He probably cried when when his father or mother died.
Yeah.
But like, I don't remember it. Like that to me, and that's another thing that why I was like this.
I vaguely remember when my grandma died, him crying. Most of it was like hidden. One other time when someone very close to him passed away, I do remember him crying. And then there's one more situation. That was it though. Throughout my whole life. And even then I wasn't like there for it. I remember either being told or like not even being told, like hearing it a little bit.
Yeah. And like that's what nowadays getting to
So
what
it's like,
I was gonna, because I know we start on this and then we get off on tangents.
Yeah, we get off on a lot of tangents, but hey,
these are related to that main point.
Exactly.
Nowadays, this is going back to what you said about how they were like, oh, no one's gonna want somebody with real problems. The day and age we live now, and with YouTube and what we're doing right now, there are so many people out there. Like the biggest thing about YouTube and going to VidCon and seeing all these different creators, it's helped me realize a little fact of like the great thing about YouTube. And sorry for our podcast listeners, I don't mean to kind of seclude you, but really anybody who listens to a podcast like this, you're listening because you either relate to that person. Like, I'm going to take an example, Markiplier. If I showed you a picture of Markiplier and just said, this guy has over 5 million, he's probably got more now, 5 million subscribers, I'd be honest, you'd look at him and go, that guy? That guy has over 5 million subscribers. He looks like a normal fucking dude. A normal fucking dude. But why is he so successful? Because people watch him play games, and it's that you're hanging around with your friends, like that old couch co-op, like Dave would always say, because he grew up with older brothers, he never needed to play. He was fine just sitting there watching the game, and that's why Dave thinks that he likes Twitch so much, because he can just watch someone play a game, and now I have to play it himself. Where I'm on the other side, I gotta play it.
Yeah.
Like I want to experience.
I like
that
experience
game.
the actual game.
And
my decisions.
Well, I mean, Dave also, let's be honest, is not a huge console guy. So if it's a console game, his thumbs don't really. He even says my thumbs don't work like that. But like
He got that stupid thumb.
But even like the one channel, I haven't listened to them recently since I got my new job, but like Kind of Funny. The thing that I love about them is, and some people could say you hate it, but like they call their fans the best friends, like Kind of Funny best friends. And it kind of automatically pulls you in. And it's like, you know what, after you watch a lot and you listen, it's like, you kind of feel a little bit of that, like, they kind of feel like your buds. Like, you're sitting around the table talking to your buds. You can comment in the comment section. You can hit them up on Twitter. And it's just the society that we live in is a lot more open to that than it was when Spider-Man was created, when they told Stan Lee, nobody's going to care about problems of real people.
No one wants to see...
Yeah. Because that's
heroes
all
with
we
real
want
people.
to see right now.
Because they want they want to see. It's like, people want to see heroes without problems with being super, being like. No. I we learn people like relatable superheroes, superheroes with actual problems. Because it makes them more real life.
Another thing I like that you said about Spider-Man that is so true. That kind of is another thing I'm going to use when writing mine, is he goes, I wanted every decision that he made, I wanted to feel like an actual human decision.
Exactly.
Like, you reading could sit there and go, yeah, I could make that decision. Or
like, I could think that. Or I could
like,
see, at least I could see where
why he picked that
why
over the other one.
Yeah.
Even if it was a mistake. Even if he picked something and it didn't turn out the way he wanted.
Exactly.
Like, it was a humanistic decision.
Makes them
choice.
human, makes them
exactly
relatable.
Makes them relatable. And that's the one thing I love. Maybe that's why Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel hero.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the fact of it. Anything else that we have gone a long time on this one, but I don't care. It's been a great
it's
discussion.
important because I want to put a I'm trying to think what the word is now. I want our condolences to the Lee family, to all the fans of Stan Lee, anyone that it meant, his comics, his movies, everything meant anything to you.
And with me, the biggest thing that I hate right now is those negative people.
I agree.
Don't let them get to you, because like the thing.
Actually, I do want to say something to those negative people when you're done.
The thing that I hate about it is, like, I get where they're coming from in a sense, where it's like, A, this guy didn't know you. B, you didn't really know him. Like, why? It's like, but we care so much because it's kind of like when, I'll put it in this sense. It's kind of like when a YouTube star that you've been watching and watching and watching dies. Just goes away. Because there have been, tragically, a few of them that have, like, either one over here, one over there, either died of something, might have tragically committed suicide, and it's like, you have all their old videos, but they are now gone.
Yeah.
And that is what the Stan Lee, the Marvel community now feels, is that this man that was kind of there and provided so much entertainment and just life experiences through these comics for us is now gone. So it's kind of like it's kind of lost, like we lost our grandfather.
Well, I'll put it this way, and I don't appreciate people that downplay or kind of shit on it to an extent of, oh, well, it's just comics, or he didn't have much to do with it lately. It's not about that. It's, A, he started it. He's the guy that was there for all of it. He, on multiple times, has stated he loves his fans, which you love. I like. Who doesn't like hearing that he appreciates us as well as we appreciate what he's done? Yeah. But the other thing is, it's just like if your favorite actor, your favorite singer, your favorite sports player, whatever sport it would be, football, baseball, basketball, if they just passed away, what they brought to the thing is now technically gone. Though the spirit can kind of live on. I mean, that person, whatever they did in your life
is gone.
They brought something to it. It's not necessarily gone, but that like being there is gone. So there is some emotion attached to it, no matter what it is. So whoever is like saying that other thing needs to rethink, because there's something in their life as well that they look up to like that.
Yeah.
And if that were gone, like the person that started that or whatever attachment to that is gone, you have to relate it that way. You can't just say, well, it's this, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, kind of think before you go, well, it's just comics.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing where I go back to the last thing I'll say is what you said. When they were writing stories for themselves, they weren't thinking, Stan Lee wasn't thinking like, I'm going to have this immense universe with all these characters. He was just writing stories.
That he would like.
He was just writing stories that he would like, and hopefully others would like them as well.
Exactly.
And we did. And we did like them.
We loved them.
We actually loved them. But this is where you guys, if you haven't already, come on in to the conversation. Let us know.
Please say everything you feel about it.
Anything we talked about. This was a doozy. This was a doozy of a segment, but I'm glad we did. So anything we talked
A lot
about,
of psychoanalysis.
join in on the conversation, obviously, in the comment section below.